Hello everyone. Here is part 2 of the story. My fiancé cheated on me with my father. By username throwaway556 from r cheating_stories Reddit page. So, let's dive right into this. Wow, hello everyone, I didn't expect to come back to Reddit and have this much support. I didn't really plan to update at all. I just wanted to put what had happened out there and hopefully get some advice. After I wrote down all that happened, I closed my computer and kind of fell into a depression. After I posted, it hit me like a train. To the ones who think it's fake, I wish I was this creative. I'd write books instead of working a 9 to 5. I'll try to reply more on this post I just logged back on, and it was honestly too much to try and reply to every comment just now. I read through most of them, and I truly appreciate everyone's inputs, both negative and positive. So, the day after I posted, I tried to get into contact with my mother, but none of my calls were connecting. I wanted to see if she would get lunch with me, and I'd tell her everything. After about a dozen tries, I decided to get into my car and go to my mother's house. She needed to know what happened as soon as possible, even if talking about it was going to make it hurt all over again. During the drive, I thought about what I would say and how I would say it. That made me start to panic. I had to pull over twice to throw up. It's not every day you have to tell your mom that her husband is screwing your fiancé. I pulled into the driveway and sat in my car for a moment to calm down and gather my thoughts. I was in my car for a few minutes when my mother threw her front door open, so I stepped out of my car. She started cursing at me, saying how dare I come to her home after I hit my father for trying to break up a fight between Elle and I. She called me every name in the book and called me an abuser. She told me I needed to leave since Elle isn't ready to forgive me yet, and that if she's smart she hopefully never will. Yes, apparently my father took Elle to my family's home and told my mom that Elle and I argued, and when my father tried to spot it, I hit him. She continued on for a while until I finally snapped and said, "Really mom, because your husband is effing my fiancé, that's why I hit him, and if you can't take my word for it, I have a video I'll send to you, but because my own mother can talk to me like this, don't expect to see me again. I don't want to hear your apology when you finally figure out that you're just as garbage of a mom as my piece of garbage father." Her face dropped and she looked like what I must have looked like when I first walked into my apartment and caught them. I pulled out my phone and sent her the video. My mom took hers out and turned it on. She pulled up the video and watched up until the part where I turned on the light. She then put her phone down. She looked up at me, but I turned and went into my car. I backed out of her driveway. I looked at her before I took off and she was in tears. My heart felt for her, but too much was said during that fight for me to pull back in and forgive her. When I got home, I started clearing everything out of my apartment that had to do with Elle or my family. I boxed all of Elle's things up and put them next to the front door. Legally this has been her place of residence, so I can't technically kick her out. Her name isn't on the lease. Also, she's the type of person who shies away from conflict, and if she returns other than to pick her things up, there will be plenty of conflict. Anything that had to do with my parents I boxed up and put into storage. Like I said in my first post, we were a very close family, but I've never had a problem cutting toxic people out of my life. I texted Elle's parents and told them calling off the engagement and told them she's been cheating on me. I thanked them for everything they've done for me. Our relationship was still building, but they were kind and supportive of me, so this just added more hurt to the mix. I finished by asking if they would come pick up all of her belongings. I haven't gotten a response from them yet, but I'm hoping they will come grab her things, so Elle doesn't have a reason to come back here. Straight Goods 30 said, "I'm going to say this, don't be mad at your mother. She's a victim of this, too. Unfortunately, your father, the boss that he is, lied to her to cover his tracks. If she had heard from you before your father got to her, things would have been different. Your mother is going to need you, just as you are going to need her, so take some time to cool down, then reach out to her." Rockle23 said, "As a mother, I would have asked my son what happened first. Taking one side without hearing the other is ridiculous in any situation. It's common sense, especially when dealing with two loved ones." Throwaway556 said, "That's what I thought she would do, but I was clearly wrong. She said things a mother should never say to their child." Geog27 said, "You mean to tell me that after you caught them, they had the audacity to go stay with your mother and lie to her about you? People never cease to disgust me. How low can you possibly get? I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to possibly say. How does someone ever get over this? Please, talk to a therapist to help you deal and cope with this situation. I'm so sorry, Op." I have lost hope in humanity a few times in life. Throwaway 556 said, people equals garbage. After I get tested for STDs, I'll set up an appointment with a therapist. Dr_Curandera said, do both simultaneously so if you get any bad news moving forward you have someone on your side. It may take a bit to build enough rapport and get through scheduling and intake. Throwaway 556 said, yeah, I just reached out to a therapist this morning. Logical Proposal 827 said, you may be mad at your mother, but for your own sake, encourage your mother to get tested for STDs. You would regret it if she were to become ill. She probably is too hurt and confused to think rationally after seeing that video. All she did was yell when she had nothing but BS to go off. Yes, she should have been a more critical thinker before spewing the same BS. But that is a mistake, based on corrupted information, not a choice to betray you. Be good to yourself. You have real enemies who chose to betray you. Time to retain some allies and support another betrayed spouse. I wish you clarity and resolve. Throwaway 556 said, she made it clear that she doesn't want me, so her problems are her own. I reached out to my aunt to look in on her, but other than that I don't care anymore. GX Offmod said, did your dad or L try to contact you already? Throwaway 556 said, no, not yet, and I hope they never do. Significant Jello 35 said, ignore those trolls. Maybe one day it will happen to them. You need to stay calm up. Right now everything seems against you. Your mom will come around. You will hear from her shortly. Your dad is really a lowlife for bringing L into his home. He will definitely screw L right under your mom's nose. This is not going to end up good. HVA, look out for your mom. She might be in some danger with both beasts living with her. Again, stay calm. Plan your next steps. I think you need to expose the affair to all. We are with you. Throwaway 556 said, right now, I don't know if I want to hear from her. I don't know why they thought my mom's house would be the place to go, but that's probably over with. I would bet my mom kicked them both out already. Reasonable_housing_6 said, what if she asks to be forgiven? Did your dad say why in the first place or why it even started? I feel bad for you, man. Some people can be supportive here and even help a person out of depression. I'd talk to your dad and I hope your mom tells your dad to get you. Throwaway 556 said, I didn't see my dad or L at the house. They hid in the house like cowards. I don't know what happened after I went home, but I doubt it was good. I'll probably schedule an appointment soon. Reasonable_housing_6 said, well, your mental health is important, your mom's is too, she might hurt herself if you need to reach out to DRS or even a friend that only you have. Throwaway 556 said, that's true, I'll call my aunt to keep an eye on her. My mental health is gone. The moment I see them in my bed I no longer have one. Where to start? OP's former father and fiancé is a POS. I feel really bad for OP's mother. She is a victim in this as well. I don't blame OP for being angry at his mom and I won't blame him for cutting her off, however. She is being manipulated. She should have asked OP first before blaming him, but if OP's former fiancé and father manipulated her, you can't blame her entirely. I would have asked OP first. I hope OP cools down first and then contacts her mother. She is also a victim in this as well. I hope OP settles down and has a heart-to-heart talk with his mother. Don't let those two POS ruin his relationship with his mother.